Hello, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the George Orwell of board game review shows. We're watching you right now. Today, we're going to go ahead and take a look at an expansion to one of our favorite games here on The Discriminating Gamer. We're talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion to Legendary, a Marvel deck-building game from Upper Deck.
Looking at the ladies in and they be looking at me. Ain't coming no fuss. Wherever they be ladies, brother, that's where I gotta be. Other men in my dust. Women they have been...
Legendary, a Marvel deck-building game from Upper Deck, is one of our favorite games here on The Discriminating Gamer. It is just a great deck-building game, maybe my personal favorite deck-building game, and there's just so much you can do. It's just so much fun. You can mix and match, and there's variety. It's tremendous, tremendous fun. Now, I must confess, I'm not that familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy. I have never read the comic books. I'm really not that familiar with kind of the Marvel Extended Universe there. But I did see the movie, and I liked it a lot. So when I heard they were coming out with this expansion, I thought, oh, this could be fun. Well, let me tell you what this game brings. Of course, it brings, your usual assortments of villains, of heroes, of plots, of masterminds. But it also brings some interesting and fun new mechanics. So first of all, you get the 5 heroes you would expect. Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, and Star-Lord. And these characters are going to provide some interesting and fun new twists and mechanics to the game. But also, you have a whole new concept in this game called shards. And shards are these little tokens with different number values on them that do different things in the game. For instance, some villains might get shards. In fact, some of the hero cards you have might put shards on villains. Now, what that does is it makes the villain harder to acquire. So, for instance, if you're going for a card that, costs 5 attack to take, and there were 2 shards on there, then it would actually be 7. So it increases their defense value against your attacks. But then, after you go ahead and you destroy that villain, you would be able to take one of those shards for yourself. Now, there's other different effects that are going to give you shards throughout the game, and shards are kind of like attack that you can hang on to, and you don't have to spend them. You can essentially decide, I'm going to pile up, I'm going to bank all of my shards, I'm going to wait, I'm going to wait, I'm going to wait, and then when an attack really matters, you're going up against the mastermind or some real powerful villain, you can spend the shard to add to your attack. So that's really cool, because it's attack you can bank from one turn to the next. Another really cool thing that this expansion brings is you now have artifacts. And what artifacts are they are cards. They're some of the cards that you have from your heroes, or some of the cards that may come up with some of the villains. And artifacts essentially play just like regular cards, but when you play them, they stay out in front of you, and they give you kind of ongoing, persistent bonuses, usually 1 bonus per turn. They may give you an extra attack per turn. They may give you shards if you play certain characters. They may allow you to gain shards after you have withstood, Mastermind, Master Strike, or some other negative effect from the board. So there's all different things that you can get. You may get more recruits, all different things. And you can essentially then not just be a slave to the cards in your hand like you usually are. You can kind of build up a little strategy there. Now, one of the villain groups is the Infinity Stones. Now, again, I'm not terribly familiar with the Guardians of the Galaxy storyline or what have you, but what's cool about this is these Infinity Stones are very powerful, and they offer some really, really cool and fun artifact effects when you put them out in front of you. So some of these Infinity Stones have some very important effects. I think one of the plots has a deal where if you collect 4 of the Infinity Stones, you put them out in front of you as artifacts, you become corrupted and you win the game regardless of what you do to the Mastermind. That's very cool there too. Speaking of Masterminds, the game comes with Thanos. And Thanos is incredibly, incredibly, incredibly powerful in this game, and he gets more powerful as the game progresses if you're not careful. So it's very, very important to use those shards and to use those artifacts to bank attack and to use attack effectively so that you can save up enough to go after Thanos, because he's just so incredibly powerful. Now, in my experience, if you just play a Guardians of the Galaxy characters and you just play, with Thanos and the stuff that's coming from it, it can be a long game. That Thanos is so hard to take down, and you're almost competing, depending on the plot, depending on more of those, getting more of those Infinity Gems rather than just directly going after Thanos. So it's almost a race to see who can get 4 first, and then it becomes, of course, less cooperative, becomes more of a competitive game. But that's interesting too, and that's what I love about the Marvel deck building system. It's got variety. You can play it in different ways. These shards bring new and interesting things to it, so do the artifacts, and it'll be interesting to see if you mix and match the Guardians of the Galaxy with some of the other established characters as well. You can bring some of the Avengers in, or some of the X-Men, and play with them with some of the Guardians. I think that will be really a whole lot of fun. I haven't done it yet. I'm looking forward to it. So the recommendation for the discriminating gamer for the Guardians of the Galaxy expansion to Marvel Legendary is buy it! Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer. And the best part about the shards in the Guardians of the Galaxy Legendary expansion is, as soon as you get one, you can say, "Hey guys, I've sharded!" No good?
Somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love the fight.
Tolliver here is going to help me.
It's better than a beating. So, how do you play this game? And so what?
Okay.
One more time.